works.
Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Real Talk Live. I'm your host Krypton Cage, and I'm joined here today by my co-host the Viking and a special guest today, Sabrina.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. No, it's a pretty DC packed show today with some Loki as well. But yeah, Sabrina, it's awesome having you here. And last night you were on the League of Mayhem stream, and Ray Porter popped up, Mr. Darkseid himself. What was that like?
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of like said hi in the chat, and we asked him, to join. And like I was like, oh, if he joins, whatever. And then he did, and I had to try not to cry because he literally brought my favorite DC villain of all time to life. So like I love him, and like I got to tell him that, which was like amazing and like probably one of the coolest things ever. So like it was just it was like probably one of the coolest days ever, getting to meet like somebody I admire like that.
He's so nice as well. Like he plays.
Oh my god, I know.
The most badass villain of all time, but he's the nicest guy in real life.
I know. He literally he's just trying to collect like a lot of the things he was saying last night was that he tries to collect like all of the Darkseid stuff from Justice League or like anything. And like I think it's so like not only like cute but like admirable though, because like it's like very wholesome that like that he wants to collect like everything.
Yeah.
So like when they made like a what a workshop made like this like huge statue that was like $1,300, and like he thought that they were gonna send it to him, but like I guess it didn't happen. But like they were talking about, because I think at San Diego Comic-Con there's gonna be like exclusive McFarlane Darkseid armored look figure, and he was like saying, because we were talking about San Diego Comic-Con, that Naya and stuff like that were all going to go because they've been there like years prior. So he was like, "Oh, can you go if that's the case and they released it at San Diego Comic-Con, please like try to snag me one. I'll like pay. Like I don't care. Like I think it's just cute though that he's trying to like collect like every one of the merch and everything, because like that's what I would do. I mean that's what I've been doing with Darkseid too. Like ever since the movie came out, like anything Darkseid or Justice League related, like Zack Snyder's Justice League related, I would buy. Like I must have spent so much money on it. It was so bad. I'm still waiting on so many like things I pre-ordered for the movie. Like I ordered a hot toy with Black Suit Superman and Nightmare Batman. That's pretty pricey. Oh my god, I can't wait to have it. I won't have it till like next year, but it'll be worth it when I get
it. It takes a while because myself and KC we listen to Robert Meyer Burnett. He's another YouTuber, and he buys hot toys a lot. And he's like, I bought a hot toy, but it won't be here till 2023. Yeah. He was like saying stuff like this.
Oh my god, I know.
So long. But that's pretty awesome. And I put this question towards you. One other Justice League cast member that you get to talk to over Zoom. You get to pick one. Who would you pick?
Personally, I would pick Ben, because I've met all of them except for Ben and Jason. Yeah, I met them at what was for Justice League, but they came to a con in like my city. No, actually, no, not even in my city, like in my town, and all of them went except for Ben, and like I remember like freaking the heck out about it, and like I was like I spent so much money meeting them all, but it was literally one of the best days of my life. And I wish Ben would went, but like he didn't. But I'm still have hope one day he'll go to a con and I can meet him and like thank him for being like the most iconic and one of my favorite Batman.
Yeah.
So
like, speaking of Batman, you're wearing a Batman t-shirt. I'm wearing a Batman jersey. Yeah, pretty cool. And Siani in the chat actually got me this for Christmas, so thanks again to her. But today is 32 years since the DCEU started with Batman, 89 with Michael Keaton. That's when the DCEU started.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't technically the DC. Did you say the DCEU?
I'm making a joke because now he's coming into the Flash. And
oh yeah! Oh my god! I know.
Multiverse.
I was thinking about that because they actually, I don't know if you know, they announced a tie-in comic for Batman '89 that'll be out in July.
Oh.
So it's basically like tied in from the movie and like a continuation of like how Batman '89 left off and everything. So, like, I know we had, Batman Returns, but, like, still, like, that's just, like, what happened in that, in Batman 89. So that will be out in July, and, like, I'm so excited for that. I just think it's crazy that, like, 32 years later, we get a comic and, like, we get him back as Batman. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, Casey, did you like the original 89 Batman?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was probably, that wasn't my first Batman movie I saw. I actually saw Batman Begins first, and then I went back and watched all the old Batman movies, and I really liked them. My favorite part about them is the aesthetic of the entire Gotham, the suits, and everything else.
Oh God,
So
yeah.
it's so gothic, and I feel that's something that should be more incorporated in the new movies, because I feel like Gotham itself is a character, and it should be very distinct from any other city, and so I feel like
Absolutely.
that should be a key thing when you're doing production design or CGI or whatever. So that was my favorite part of the older movies, and I do think that a lot of them were kind of cheesy in some bits, but I still love them. And there's something very distinct about those movies that cannot be replicated today. So for that, they're very special, and the music was so amazing. I still feel like the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, Batman 89, those Batman themes are still iconic, and they really make you feel like you're looking at something Batman.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. It's they kind of for I would say for definitely like Michael Keaton's Batman, he I mean, of course, like Batman was known before, Michael Keaton was Batman, and like with Adam West and like everybody else, but I think he like really became like iconic in like pop culture like when Keaton played him, and like ever since then it's been like more iconic. I don't know. A lot of people like say he's like definitive Batman, like not to bring it up, but like the whole picture everyone was freaking out about on Warner Brothers on the wall, how Keaton was there instead of Batfleck. And like, I mean, a lot of people made good points about it, and like I get why they went to that, because there's so many different iterations of Batman that you could have chose, and like I get it not choosing the current one, but a lot of people made like a really really good point, is like that he kind of defined it for that era. I don't know. I think every Batman kind of like defined that generation they were a part of. So like there's a different Batman, like different definitive Batman for each generation. So like this upcoming generation will have Rob as Batman, and like that literally makes me so happy. Like seeing kids, or like there's a TikTok going around of like a little kid dressed in Rob's Batsuit, and like that made me like bawl my eyes out. I was like, oh my God, I was like, these kids now have a new Batman to look up to. Yeah. So like I like when I was a kid, I mean, most people have like either Christian Bale or even Keaton, or but I would depends how old you were when Ben Affleck was Batman, but mine was actually Adam West. That's kind of my definitive Batman, like my first real true introduction to him. Yeah, my dad grew up with the show, and he kind of introduced me to it because like he loved it so much as a kid. Oh, and Batman. So like he kind of obviously passed it on to me, and I remember watching it and like thinking he was like the coolest thing ever, and then I wanted to know more about him, so I picked up comics and stuff like that, and like I always say like the rest is history. But in more recent years, when like some personal stuff happened to me, like personal tragedy, I found like a newfound love for him, especially when like BVS came out, because like during that tragedy and everything, I like I said, it I was going through like a hard time, and I wasn't like really sure if like the things that normally made me happy. But I said this last night too, so I kind of like feel like I'm like repeating myself. So anyone who was watching it last time, sorry if I am. But yeah, Batman Superman, like everyone knows, is like, I don't know. That's why Ben Affleck's Batman's like also definitive for me, because it kind of helped me during that time and reminded me how much and I love the character. And like, I don't know, ever since then he's been my comfort and go to, like, even more so than he's like ever been. So like I got like a more personal connection to him in more recent years when like life kind of hit me. But I don't know, I'm always so excited for any type of take on Batman. Like I always say like I'll take any kind of Batman content. That's how much I love him as a character, even if it's a lot of people aren't crazy about. Like I'll be like, oh, I'll take it. New Batman content, whatever it is.
Yeah, same, exactly.
It's crazy that we've
I
never
watched all the
had
films
a
too.
bad casting for Batman. Every Batman has been really good, and the one potentially risky casting would have been Lego Batman, but even he was amazing. I mean,
I was gonna say, I was like,
yeah,
what?
he was
great.
great. Like every Batman iteration has been amazing, and even with Robert Pattinson, I think that was a great casting choice. And with the trailer, even he already looks to be one of the best.
He was actually. I remember when Ben Affleck like kind of like announced he wasn't Batman anymore. I remember how devastated I was, and I remember finding out there was like a list of actors that were like young actors they were looking for Batman. Like I remember being so nervous, like wondering who they were gonna pick, and like a whole like list of leaked actors who were like being looked at the most to play the younger version of Batman for this take. And I remember seeing Rob's name, and I was like, I hated everybody else on the list. I just didn't see it because like I just thought that they could have like done better than like these actors. And when I saw Rob's name, I was like, honestly, out of everyone, I was like, I really hope it's Rob.
Yeah.
If this is like the only list of actors that's like tried out for the role. And when I announced, I was like, oh my god! I was like, I have peace. I was like, I'm no longer like sweating every night, wondering who's gonna be Batman.
Yeah, I remember when it was coming, closer to announcement, and they narrowed it down between Pattinson and Nicholas Hoult, which I'm not exactly sure how that happened, because I would have been so mad if, Pattinson caliber actor lost to Holt, and that would have been terrible, and I was so relieved.
I know. There was like I remember the list of being like I actually could like name a few actors. Like I don't think you can find a list anymore, but like I remember seeing it on like Reddit. But it was like Ansel Elgort, I think it was like Miles Teller or whatever his name is, and I was like, these are all like not saying that they're bad actors, but like
not Batman.
I'm very picky when it comes to playing my man. Like I know like it's not technically my choice because I don't work for Warner Brothers, but like I gotta make sure my man's casted right. And like I said, like you said, like there's never been a bad casting. So like I was very, very scared to see who they would pick, especially looking at that list. I was like, oh god, I was like, please, out of everyone, Rob's like the best decision. So like yeah, it was like Ansel Elgort. I'm trying to think who else. There were so many actors. Like I said, they're all good, but I just was like, oh, Kit Harington was one of them. I was like, no. I was like, I don't see any of these actors playing Batman or Bruce like the way like I don't know. I just it was just very like difficult. So but like then when I saw Rob, I was like, oh my god. I was like, I was like, he's perfect.
Yeah. The minute like Affleck on Jimmy Kimmel and he said he was stepping down, he was retired as Batman and stuff. Like my first pick was Robin Pattinson because they were going to go with a younger Batman, and I'd watch all his indie films like Rover, Good Time, Lost City of Z, of course Lighthouse came out in recent years, Tenet, and I was like, this guy is a phenomenal actor, and for him to be Batman is just perfect. So I was rooting for him to be Batman, and then it was up with Nicholas Hoult, and I was like, no, it has to be Robin Pattinson. And I'm glad it is, and it reminds me of kind of Heath Ledger's casting where everyone was just going absolute crazy. Oh, the Twilight guy is going to be Batman, or the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You and these rom-coms is going to be the Joker. It's not going to work. But the Heath Ledger proved everyone wrong, as always these castings do, because they're actors, and Robin Pattinson will do the same. I think he's already showed that in the trailer. He's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, a lot of people have compared, like that to like I think not to be that person, but I think a lot of people who are like so quick to just say no to Rob is because like, and I get it why they are, but because they're so devastated that that Ben Affleck didn't get his solo movie. I'm just as devastated too, but like I mean, I just kind of, unfortunately, I rather him. He was going through stuff, so like I rather him be happy. And if that wasn't making him happy, so be it. But like I said, like you know how we have this multiverse now. Like if they somehow gave him a movie now, I think I would like lose my mind because like I've always wanted to see that, and I always like thought he does. I'll forever say that he deserved his own solo movie, let alone a trilogy. But like unfortunately, things didn't happen like that. But who knows? Who knows what could happen in the future? If only if he's up to it. That's just the way I see it. But I don't know. I think people need to. I think with a lot of people that were like very like scared or like wasn't crazy about the casting with Rob. Like I think the trailer dropping at fandom like completely changed a lot of people's opinions and like shut a lot of people up, which like made me really happy because I remember. I was like telling so many people, like let alone like my coworkers. I was like, "Oh my god, Rob's like perfect," and this was before the trailer even dropped. And like everyone else was like, "The Twilight guy," you know how everyone says it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like he's a fantastic actor. And like they're like, what? And like I named off a lot of other movies. I was like, that's not his only movie. I was like, you can go watch other movies before you judge. And then I remember him not seeing the trailer, and it was like, and then I like came into work a couple days later after the trailer came out, and I showed him. I was like, you know how you like kept questioning me about being so confident in Rob, and like I showed him the trailer, and he was like, all right, I take it all back, and I was like, I told you. I was like, I think that was very satisfying on the people who were like day one for Rob in like a way, because it's like like we weren't just saying this for a reason, like I don't know. The thing is with Rob, with Rob, I completely trust everything Matt Reeves is doing in this movie. Like I've trusted it even before fandom, because I was like, there's a reason why they picked him and why he was so enthusiastic about doing this movie for years. Yeah. And then like when I heard him at fandom, it like completely eased my worries even more. I was like, my favorite character of all time is in the most perfect hands. Like, is it actually we have a director that knows and like understands him and the source material too, and like knows how to, just like I said, like and literally full on understands Batman the way like I would say I do, or like multiple fans do, and that was literally the most satisfying thing to hear. Like that was everything to me. I was like, all right, I'm completely set on Matt. If I wasn't already before, I was like, I have complete and utter faith in him, and like I don't know, but I just know it's gonna be like incredible.
Yeah, I'm a big Matt Reeves stan. Everyone knows that from my profiles. But I think it was just perfect that someone who I really loved from the Planet 8 movies that he did. I was just blown away for him to do a Batman film. I just can't wait. Really can't wait. But the exciting times ahead, and we've Flash to talk about it a little bit later as well with Michael Keaton's Batman and the set photos. But Casey, is there an animated movie you watch by yourself as a grown man in your room?
Yeah. So let's jump on to the first topic of today, and that is Pixar's Luca. Have any one of you seen this movie?
I actually haven't yet. I think I tried to watch it the other day, but then like I got distracted and like I had to go do something. But I definitely want to sit down maybe tonight and watch it. I don't know. I saw like the trailer and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. But I like been so busy with work, I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and like watch it. But maybe tonight.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because just because like I have younger sisters and stuff, so I would like the new animated movies. I would see them, that kind of way. But now they're a little bit older. I'm a little bit older. I have a lot of animated movies to catch up on. I still haven't watched Soul.
What?
I still haven't watched Souls. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. Get over it. But I need to watch that, so I need to catch up on a lot of animated movies. But no, I haven't seen Luca. I don't think I've even seen a trailer from Luca. So you tell us about it, Casey.
Yeah, so this movie is about a guy who meets a friend, and this guy he's basically a mermaid type of creature, and in the movie they call him a sea monster, and the concept is that once they go out of the water, they turn into humans, so they can disguise between these. Amongst the humans, they can disguise themselves, and they're no longer sea monsters, right? And this island here is basically very very much hunting sea monsters, and they have rewards for catching sea monsters and all that stuff. So they are pretty aggressive about it. So that this movie is about that, and the concept I really really liked. Especially it's Pixar, so they are always amazing. I really liked Soul, and you should definitely check it out. It won an Oscar, dude.
Yeah, okay, I'll watch it.
I actually haven't seen it either. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, but
I'm not the only
but
one.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Pixar, especially because not just because they're animated movies, whatever. I don't see it that way. They are just a very consistent studio to me, and they always have top tier movies. They hit on story, they have emotion, good music, good message, and it's basically family entertainment type of movies. So 99% of the movies I really like. So especially recently, they have been really nailing them. And this movie, particularly, I think, um, from what I gathered from it, it doesn't say it outright, but kind of the sea monster versus human thing, and hiding yourselves among the humans. It's kind of about acceptance. There's slight racism dealing tones to it, and then there's also kind of immigration. Because they basically are not from that city that they visit, or town. So there's also the immigrant story in there. So there's a lot of stuff like that that makes it very a very good movie, and um it's probably not better than Soul, but I would say that it's actually really good, and you should definitely check it out.
Would you this film was just on Disney Plus. I don't think it got a
Yeah.
theatrical release. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, would you say that this is a good film for people to relate to? Because look, we've all felt insecure about our bodies or the way we look and stuff like that. And this, just by your description of it, these guys are able to disguise themselves as
Yeah.
humans from mermaids. Like, is that kind of what the basic tone is of this movie? Is to accept yourself, all your flaws, just the way you are? Is that the basic story?
It's about accepting yourself, as well as it's about other people not being so quick to judge, and then accepting people from other regions or other races and stuff like that. That's basically the message that I got, but obviously in the movie they don't say it like that. It kind of is implied.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good, because I think it's good when you have movies you can relate to, especially young kids, because it's hard. It's growing up, and everyone has different struggles. So I think for a movie like that to have that kind of message, and if you have something like that going on in your personal life, the movie doesn't have to tell you it's about that. You'll pick it up yourself. So I think that's.
And it has both sides of it, like the receiving end and the giving end. So both can see this and relate. So that's the best part that I thought about it. And also it's not just about that. It's just basically a story of, the boy meeting, being friends with this guy. And then, there's also very deep friendship messages over there. What stuff to do and how to be a good friend and all that. So that's also in there. So I really like that as well.
Yeah, myself and Sabrina will have to check that one out.
I know, we really do. I really do. There's so many movies I have on a list to watch, but it's just so hard to get to them.
Yeah,
I have a long list, so it might be a minute until I watch that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, but it's out in Disney Plus, so you can watch it anytime. You don't have to go to a theater. That's pretty good as well. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Probably watch it with my sister then if she wants to watch it. But yeah, that's awesome, KC. And the next topic is Superman and Lois, is it?
Superman and Lois episode 11, which I haven't seen and you have. So just like always.
I haven't.
Well, you have. I won't spoil anything. I'll just give a basic description review of it. So last week's episode it felt like a season finale. It felt like the climax for this big story because Morgan Edge, who is a Kryptonian, Tal Rho, found out a few episodes ago that he's Superman's brother, different fathers. But this episode, it started off as a filler. It was like a flashback to Superman, to Clark, because in last week's episode we got to see him collapse outside the Fortress of Solitude because he had to use all his power to stop Morgan Edge's big device that was turning people of Smallville into Kryptonians. So this felt like a flashback episode. So we get to see Clark, as a young boy, dealing with his powers, being trained by his AI father, Jor-El, discovering where he came from. It's really cool scenes with him and his mother, Martha, heartbreaking scenes, very emotional. Then we get to see him as a teenager. He goes back to Smallville after going on this, or not a teenager, but a young adult. And he finds out that his love interest, Lana Lang, has found a boyfriend. So he decides to move on with himself. But eventually he goes to Metropolis, and we get to see him save people for the first time. We get to see him wear the OG kind of costume with the red underpants. And Tyler Hoechlin actually pulls it off. And for he actually looks pretty good at it. So we get to see that, and there's kind of a resemblance to the Action Comics pose where he has a car over his head. He saves a little kid there, and the reason he wears the old-fashioned Superman super underwear suit is because his mother made it for him. So I thought that was a pretty good explanation of why he wears that suit. Then we get to see him work at the Daily Planet, kind of falls in love with Lois Lane. He's a celebrity in Metropolis, stuff like that. So it felt like a filler episode where you get to see where he came from. Basically, if you don't want to watch this episode, just watch Man of Steel, because that's basically what they tried to do in this episode. But until there was a twist, which I'll get to in a second. But something that I thought was pretty awesome in this episode is that Lois Lane starts working with Clark Kent, of course, at the Daily Planet. They start investigating some kind of shady business in the city. Superman's doing his thing, but Lois falls in love with Clark. She doesn't fall in love with Superman because she has some dealings with Superman. She interviews him a few times, stuff like that. But I thought it was nice how she fell for Clark before she fell for Superman. So that was pretty cool. So we get to see Clark find out he's going to be a parent. They're in the hospital. They're going to have twins, stuff like that. But throughout the episode, in these kind of flashbacks, Superman is seeing like a dark shadow that's coming back and forth. And he can't make it out. He doesn't know what it is. And we don't know what it is either. And this happens several times throughout the episode until he figures out that all of his memories, all of his flashbacks are not real. Morgan Edge is using some device to go into his mind and to see where he came from. So I thought it was a nice twist in the episode, and some stuff happened after that as well. Because Morgan Edge, who is Tal-Rho from Krypton, came to Earth years before Superman did, and he had a different, more of a violent upbringing and stuff like that. He was treated badly. His AI version of his father trained him in such a brutal way that makes him so ruthless, the way he's depicted in the show. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I'd like seeing the flashbacks, the interactions, and then the ending was pretty badass as well. Because remember, Casey, I was telling you that this character, Captain Luthor, who was John Henry Irons' Steel from the comic books, came from his Earth to this Earth to stop Superman, because on his Earth, Superman went rogue and took over the world and killed everyone. So he came to this Earth to stop this world's Superman in fear of the same thing happening. But he has seen this Superman the way he acts. He has a family. He's seen him with Lois Lane, so he thinks everything's going to be okay. But by the end of the episode, don't want to spoil it too much, he may have been right all along, and he may have to come and take on the Man of Steel. An evil Man of Steel, maybe in future episodes. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see how that goes, because the actor who plays John Henry Irons, Woolley Parks, I think his name is, badass. He is so cool. He's so cool in this show. So yeah, it's all coming together, Casey, with 4 episodes to go, and this show has been the best DC content I've watched maybe since Snyder's era with the company. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've heard only good things about it, but yeah. I don't know. I'm very weary about those DC shows because not really a fan of I don't want to talk crap about them, but I don't like any of them really. Huh?
KC's the same. Yeah. KC is the same, aren't you, KC?
Yeah.
You're the same.
So I'm very reluctant on watching certain of the CW ones, but I think my boyfriend started watching some of them. So he was telling me them, and he's you need to watch it, and I was like, okay, but I just never got around to it. I don't know. I have it on my list. Maybe eventually I'll watch it. I don't know.
How many episodes are left?
There's 4, so there's going to be altogether 15
Wow.
episodes or 15 or 16. But I actually think this will be a really good binge. And I think you could watch this with your parents or family or friends and stuff like that because it's actually such an easy watch. You don't have to be into superheroes. It's more of a drama, and there's hero elements to it as well. And every single character in the show has a part to play in the story. You know, you got Lana Lang, she has her husband, her daughter. Every single character is important to the story. And as I said in previous episodes, the side stories are as interesting as the story with Clark or Lois Lane or with the kids and stuff like that. So, yeah, this episode, I thought it was going to be a filler one, then it took a twist, and then it took another twist by the end and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say wait for it to come out and maybe binge it. I'm going to definitely buy this on Blu-ray when it comes out, just so I can have it and watch it anytime I want. That's how much I've really loved this show. And there was so many references towards Christopher Reeve's Superman, towards Man of Steel as well in this episode. Some nice similar shots. And yeah, Tyler Hoechlin, I with the right material, he's pulling it off as a really great Superman. So hopefully the show quality continues so he can show us how great he can be.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, no, like I said, I'll definitely eventually check that out. I don't know when, but I will.
Awesome.
Yeah, so speaking of more, best DC content in years, we have our next topic here, which is the Flash movie. And we finally got a full look at Supergirl's costume. And we have more set pictures, which showed us Barry in a suit. And we saw Flash's ring. And we saw Michael Keaton as Batman. Well, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne. So his hairstyle is basically the same as he had in the '89 movie. And Barry looks really good. I think he is wearing his father's suit.
Did you take my theory, Kirsty?
Yeah. Well, it does look like an old suit, and
it looks
so
big. Looks big on him.
Yeah, it looks very big on him. So, and the hairstyle is from the Snyder Cut. He has the Snyder cut. And it's pretty good seeing him again here on the set. Of course, they are in front of a courthouse, so people are speculating that this is probably about Henry's trial. But I think the best thing out of these pictures is definitely Supergirl and her costume. I really liked it.
Oh my god!
And I know this is a stunt suit or whatever, and she's wearing a harness inside or whatever. But I'm a really big fan of the pants. I love that, and I do like the design. And I probably would have toned down the red on top a little bit, from the sleeves, but I do still like it. But I still want to see it, with a cape to finally see its true color and everything. For now, I really like it, and I love her hairstyle. She just looks amazing.
Oh my god!
She just looks like the perfect casting already.
Well, I noticed that because I think I was at work when it dropped, and someone made a good point that they kept I'm sorry, I can't talk.
Emblem?
Sorry.
Emblem?
It's yeah. From Man of Steel, so it's literally the same suit, and I think. I don't know. I really think if that's the case, it's going to be such a missed opportunity if the two of them don't eventually meet. And I need Man of Steel 2 with the two of them. Someone that had the perfect concept. I think it was Henry Superman and Sasha Supergirl with Brainiac in Man of Tomorrow, and I was just oh my god! And I was I need that right now. It's Warner Brothers, stop being stupid. Make it right now.
People are saying that Superman is going to show up in this movie. And that would be cool if they meet. But I think
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think a more a cooler thing to happen would be Henry showing up in her solo movie. I think that would give her I I don't think he should be, that big of a role in that movie, because it's her movie, obviously. But I think there could be just a um cameo where how this CW show did, or used to do with Superman. He just used to come in and say that, "Oh, Kara, you can
Yeah, I
handle
think
it," and go away.
mm, I think you use it for marketing more than
Yeah.
anything else. Because like an unknown character. I think some of these movies do really well in that when an unknown character, the marketing is important because you propel. If Henry Cavill was in that, people would go see Henry Cavill, but they would come away raving about Sasha Calle as Supergirl. But I think that what's happening with the Flash movie is that people are going to see the Flash. People are going to see Michael Keaton's return, but they'll actually come away talking about her performance as Supergirl, which will automatically hype people up for her solo
Yeah.
movie. So I don't think that you
Yeah.
necessarily need Henry in her
Yeah.
solo movie because people are going to be hyped from this movie because Michael Keaton Flash is in it, and then she's
Yeah.
amazing. So
I mean, it would make like perfect sense if Henry did show up in like her solo movie or like a cameo. But like I feel like if he was gonna make a cameo, it's probably gonna be in Shazam. Like a lot of people are
Mhm.
saying. Because like you saw what in Shazam 2 for Fury of the Gods. So I don't know. I could see it happening. If he was gonna make a cameo in anything, I think it would be that before the Flash, and that's just me. But I don't know. Like I was gonna say too, like I don't know if like Sasha got confirmed to get a solo movie. Like is that confirmed or is
it
that
was
just like
at the
speculation
bottom.
right now?
Yeah, it was in the Hollywood Reporter an article saying it was a list of movies that are in development for solo movies, but development at DC and Warner Brothers doesn't mean anything because movies get cancelled and announced all the
Yeah.
time. So, but it was in an article that said that it's in development. But I think if she's received well on this and this movie does well, I think they'll greenlight it straight away
I
a
think,
solo movie for
yeah,
her.
I think I agree with you, and I think that it's a no-brainer. Why would you cast Supergirl just for a cameo in Flash? I think they were
Yeah.
always gonna make that solo Supergirl movie, but they just want to introduce her in this movie. Just to have that extra. Oh, I know that character. So I think the solo movie is definitely happening
Mhm.
with her. That's the reason I think they cast her. And it would be
Hmm.
cool to see who writes that movie and who directs it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Edit says the suit looks good, to be honest, and will definitely improve with CGI. That's the thing, because a lot of these set photos for films, the suits look terrible. But here, the suit actually looks
Yeah.
pretty good. So imagine this with CGI added to it. And we'll talk about Zachary Levi's Shazam suit, because we talked about it last week. The set photo looked pretty cool, looked pretty badass. Now, the finished, complete shot from David Sandberg is even better. It's perfect. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Ezra looks he looks innocent. He looks cute. People really like him, that kind of way. So I think he just looks great as Barry Allen. So looking forward to seeing his continuation from the Snyder Cut. And Michael Keaton back with sporting a Batman Beyond look. Of course, he trained in the Batman Beyond, trained Terry McGinnis. Maybe they're eyeing up for that, or he trains a Batgirl or Terry McGinnis in future movies. But yeah, it's cool to see him back, and we're probably going to see Michael Keaton in the Batsuit as well. I think we will. I think he'll have a large role in the movie, and I think it's going to be mostly him and Ezra throughout the buddy
I
cop
hope so.
superhero type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully,
Yeah, I
but
hope
I
so.
think Sasha Calle looks amazing. I think hopefully she can act. I haven't seen her act yet.
I'm sure she'll do fine. I mean, Andy Muschietti put that video of the announcement out, and that instantly sold me on her. And I was like, yes, she is definitely gonna play a good Supergirl. However, yes, it also depends on the writing and directing. So we'll have to wait and see who does that.
Does somebody want to explain to me, who's not a comic book reader, why does Flash wear a ring?
Well, I believe it could have started in the comics, but like I know they started to really do it in like the DC AU movies. That like they kind of like put his suit in the ring to like change quicker kind of thing. I don't know when that started in the comics or if it is in the comics because I'm not
I think it
too
is.
knowledgeable on Flash comics. But I always thought that was such a cool little detail, and I'm so glad that they're having that in the Flash. Like it's like I said, it's such a simple detail, but like seeing that ring, it's like, oh my god, that's where or like the little Flash sneakers he had too on. in the set pics. So like it's like little details like that like means like everything. But it's like little things like that you can point out and be so excited for.
I actually think his suit won't be in the ring because that's something that's something establishing a rule in the in this universe because you have a whole suit fit in this tiny little space, so that should apply to everything else, right? And how do you explain that technology?
Seems a little bit too cheesy for live action.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just a person that doesn't really. The thing you have to say when if like let's say that does happen though, is his suit in there? Like you just have to say it's a comic book movie. It's not supposed to be like if there was logic in it, like a lot of things that like happen in comics would not happen.
Yeah, but in the DCU they try to keep it more grounded, and so far they have done that. So I don't know if they will completely change that.
I mean, they did, but like there's still some things that like low-key don't make sense, but like you just kind of brush it off. So like this is probably like I don't know. I just don't think this is going to be that big a deal. I think because like I said, a lot of people when the set pics came out and saw the ring, that more people were excited about it than not. And like instead of saying like, oh, how's that going to work? Like I literally saw nobody think about the logic of it and just like think of the reality of it, of how cool it is, and like with that detail. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people think of the logic. I'm going to be honest. I'm definitely not one of them because I'm like, oh, it's a comic book movie, like it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. What I'm really curious about is that a lot of these set photos show that this scene right here is in Central City. Now, how has Michael Keaton and how has Sasha Kala ended up in Ezra Miller's Central City? Maybe it's their Central City, a version in their world, or maybe somehow they've ended up in the main DCU timeline. That's something that I'm so curious about that to see what exactly is going on. Any theories from you guys?
I'm curious to see. Well, because Batfleck was confirmed for it too. I'm curious to see like how big of a role he's gonna play, and like when he's gonna play it, and like how it switchovers from him to Keaton. And like, of course, now that like Supergirl's a thing too in the movie, like I'm curious to see like how they handle that. I don't know. It's just like I think it's so cool. I love everything they're doing, but I'm also like not confused, but I'm just curious to see like how it's gonna be all put together. Because I'm like, huh. Like I think like I said, like especially like Keaton, because like let's say this is like I know like Zack Snyder's Justice League is like not technically canon or whatever, some people say, but I still think it is. But I would be like, wouldn't Barry be like, would know that, Ben Affleck's Batman's Batman, so he'd be like, he wouldn't immediately be like, okay, this is Batman too. Like, he'd be like, who are you? So I'm curious to see like that kind of take on it. Like, you get what I'm trying to say when I say that? I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was making sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounded better in my head.
No, exactly. I completely understand what you're saying, because how would I know that their plan is to bring in Keaton in this universe, but then we already have Batfleck, and it's supposed to be his goodbye, according to some people. So I don't know how they are doing that. Why would they bring in Keaton here when you already have a Batman? And what happens to Keaton's universe? That's kind of strange to think about.
Yeah, because like,
I'm like,
why is he leaving his universe? That's the question.
I feel like, well, it has something to do with like I don't want to say a Flashpoint paradox kind of thing, but like it has to be something with the timeline that he somehow ends up in like that universe. And I think it's maybe I could be like so spot off when I say this, but like, let's say, I don't know, like you know how it is in Flashpoint, like, with the why his Henry's in jail in the first place, because they think he killed Nora. But so like maybe it's like the classic thing they did in Flashpoint where Barry tries to go back in time to save his mom, so they don't have to do this. And then like I guess he somehow ends up, because of trying to go back, instead of like Thomas Wayne, Batman kind of thing. Instead it happens with Michael Keaton's Batman, and he ends up in his universe instead. You get what I mean? I don't know. I just like I'm just trying to think of like the way that they're gonna handle it. Like especially like you said with this universe, and like what happens to it. I don't know. there's so many possibilities, and like we could have all these theories, but we're not gonna know until like 2022 when the movie's physically out and we're like in the theater watching it.
I don't think it's as well thought out in terms of what Marvel are doing with the multiverse of badness and the Spider-Mans, because
God,
on the surface, do DC really have a plan for the aftermath of this movie? You know, because they're so reactionary and stuff like that, and then new Discovery coming in, different executives coming in, different decision makers and stuff like that. So it's hard to see them actually having a plan right now. I hope it's a good, fun flash film. It brings in Michael Keaton and Supergirl, maybe some other characters. Maybe we get to see a different timeline, a different world and stuff like that. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm excited by it. And I'm not going to be worried too much about the future of the DCU after, because Warner Brothers don't seem to be too worried either. So I just hope Michael Keaton is respected and the Snyderverse is respected as well. And I'd love to see like the door open for Ben Affleck to return, or for Henry Cavill. I just hope it's not a complete reset and says Ben Affleck never existed, Henry Cavill never existed, Grant Fisher never existed. I hope those things don't happen, and I don't think they will. So I'm looking forward to having a good time with these characters.
Oh no, I completely agree. Like I said, I'm just excited, for movies. I don't know. I've wanted DC to bring all these characters to life for years, and it's the fact that it's like they're all getting their own, like Flash is finally getting his own solo movie and stuff like that. It makes me really excited. So,
and Anthony has a pretty good question for us. What do you think the idea of Michael Keaton playing a Nick Fury role in the DCU? Now, I've had a prediction for a while that the new DCU will, if Henry doesn't want to come back or if Ben doesn't want to come back and stuff like that, that the new kind of Justice League of this world will be Wonder Woman, Aquaman. You'd have Flash there as well. You'd have Batgirl, Supergirl, Michael Keaton as a mentor to all these kind of characters. Maybe Terry McGinnis coming in as well, stuff like that. That's what I think could happen. But yeah, Michael Keaton showing up as a cameo in other movies, that would be pretty cool and probably would help the box office a lot as well. But you have Ben Affleck there. Just get him for that job if you need somebody to do that.
I don't know. Maybe a lot of people have said too. Maybe Keaton's trying to set up for Batman Beyond. I don't know. Like I said, we could say all these theories and stuff, but we won't know until we see it. So I don't know. Like, there's so many. Like, I don't know. I don't trying to think of him like as like a Nick Fury role. I don't know. I think the thing is like with movies. And I think the problem always with DC is, like, it was very hard to find an actor to commit, like, let alone either playing Superman or Batman and stuff like that. So it's, like, very hard for an actor, commit to so many movies. So I think they're just kind of trying to do with what the best they can, I guess, in their own way, even though, like, a lot of people would argue and say, oh my god, it's shit or whatever, or it's a disaster. Because, like, a lot of people want, the Snyderverse to restart, and I'm one of them too. But, like, I think at the end of the day, as crazy as it sounds, like, I think I'll, like, watch anything with DC, because, like, I love them with all my heart, so. And, like, I've loved these characters for so long, and I just, like, I've wanted them all to see, to get representation on the big screen and be brought to life, in their stories, so. I don't know. We shall see what's gonna happen with all that.
Yeah, another movie that's coming out.
Do you have any theories?
Oh.
Do you have any theories?
Well, no, I don't have anything to add. I agree with you guys. It's weird to think about it right now when we don't have anything, to base it on. There's no trailer or anything like that, so I don't know how that will fit in. It's also not an exact Flashpoint adaptation, so we cannot say that he's going to be playing Thomas Wayne or a character like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's taking inspiration a lot from, like, Flashpoint Paradox and, like, not Flashpoint Paradox, Flashpoint and The Button too. If you guys have read that, no. It was like a Batman. It was like a little small Batman arc that was like with Reverse Flash comes into the Batcave, and like because of that they like break the timeline, and like basically it's like another version of Bruce meeting his father as Batman and like an alternate timeline that he dies in. So I don't know. I think because like a lot of people start saying that because when Andy posted the picture of Keaton's symbol, but with like the blood, it kind of looked like the cover of Button. Literally, it's like a smile. On the cover of it, it's Batman holding like a smiley face type of thing, and like I don't know, or like it's like a Watchmen kind of reference. So like I don't know. There's like so many probably inspiration it's taking from. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about what I think until I see a trailer. Because like I don't know. They could. I don't know if they'll show everything that we know.
Yeah.
Like kind of like how Spider-Man is too. Like everything they're doing with the multiverse in the news in No Way Home. Like they're not going to show that in the trailer. They're not going to give that away. Like they want audiences to be surprised. So like I really think Warner Brothers is going to try to pull the same thing. I mean, yeah, we've seen. What was I gonna say? We've seen. Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. We keep seeing, set pics of, Keaton on set, but like I don't think they're gonna show him the trailer until like we watch the movie, which I think is smart because you don't want to give like that much away, yet. I don't know.
I think he's definitely in the first
I
trailer.
want to know more, but I also.
I think he's definitely in the first trailer. Like he's one of the biggest grabs for the movie, and WB always thinks of, they care more about getting people to watch their movies than the quality of their movies. So having Michael Keaton there first is definitely their priority. That's why they paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love if they hide that stuff because I am someone who wants to wait for, to see it in the movie before, not see before the movie, but you know how marketing is these days. WB will definitely show that.
I don't know. I'm half and half. Like a part of me, it's like anticipation's killing me, and I'm just like I want to know so I don't have. So I can get rid of all these theories and like know like where they're gonna kind of go with it. But also the other part of me is like, no, don't tell me. I want to be so shocked as heck in the theater and be like, oh my god. But I don't know. Like I think either way, depending on like knowing some of the things we know with the multiverse, I think we'll still be shocked. Too. I'm not just talking about DC, but like I keep going back to Spider-Man 2 because, like I said, they're both trying to do that whole multiverse thing, and I think that's really cool. I don't know. I've always been interested in that in like the comics and everything. So like I think that the fact that they're finally doing that in like live action is like so sick. And I think like general audiences are gonna think that's cool too, but like comic fans and like that like really know or like are really in for the treat about it because it's like, oh my god, like this is all connected.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like I remember in Spider-Man Far From Home when the trailer dropped and like they mentioned the multiverse, even though in that time it ended up not being real because everything with Mysterio. But I remember when they name dropped that, like just the word multiverse, like everyone was like in shambles because they're like, oh my god. So like, but it didn't happen until now. So I think that's just like crazy. So you never know. Like we might think we know everything, like where they're going, but they could like surprise us. So like I said, I think we need to wait and see. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And another DC film that 7KC are excited about, I'm sure you are as well, Serena, is Shazam 2. Is it?
Yes.
DC?
Yeah, it's Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I love the first Shazam, so like, but I think this one's gonna be like a step, more because like Billy's like developed and like he knows like a little bit more about being Shazam and like same thing with the Shazam family, which we got like in the first movie. So like I don't know, they got like suit upgrades, so I think that's really cool too. I don't know, I'm just really excited for this.
The new suits look really amazing. I love the new texture that they gave the suits and the color, the filter that David applied to it and then posted the picture. I think it looked pretty good. Shazam's suit is obviously looking good here, but I think my favorite suit here is definitely Grace's. I love that she's playing both characters now, and her suit looks like that design looks like it could apply to Flash or Supergirl or any character. It's such a great design. I kind of wish that that design was applied to Shazam's suit as well, but I'm still happy with the suits. I think everyone looks great here in this picture, and I'm definitely glad about Grace playing both the characters.
Oh no, I definitely agree. Like, not that like the other actress was like bad or anything, but like I think it's even cooler though that like she's finally old enough to play both parts. So, and like I said, I found the picture from the first movie to like the picture that he posted, and like the suit, just like her suit looks
Yeah.
freaking amazing. It's just a
For me,
simple.
she's
it's like,
the standout in this picture. 100%.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like most of the suits like look the same, besides like like the texture and like I would say the like color, like it got like a little bit like darker-ish, but like the real like full on difference in the suit, I think is Mary Marvel's definitely. But I'm like really, I love it so much. What?
I prefer the darker look to the suits. The first movie they were too padded. It looks like these all like I know they're padded here as well, but they all look ripped. They all look like they've been in the gym. Which
I agree.
Like
I definitely agree.
A real superhero.
I think the texture does a lot to that. The first suit also had texture, but it was kind of very subtle. So when you look from afar, it looks like it's very smooth and no texture at all. But this one, even from afar, it looks like there is some good texture in it. So I really enjoyed looking at this. And
that was a huge surprise in the first one when the Shazam family showed up. Like I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Especially not in the suits.
Someone was not into comics who didn't know anything about the characters or anything like that. See them show up like that. That's just that was a shock moment for me. And you don't really get that in too many comic book movies.
I agree.
Shocked.
Because all those people in the costume, that's pretty hard to keep out from leaking.
Yeah, it was really well done. So we could get something similar to this, because we did so well. I know some stuff was already leaked, but of Helen Mirren and her character, but I'm sure there'll be some surprises in this as well, because he's a horror director. So in horror movies, there's a lot of surprises. So I'm expecting a little few more in this one. So
now they look like they could go toe to toe with Black Adam.
Oh my god! I know. I literally. I need that. I need that team. I need that right now. Like I need that.
You think we'll see some sort of tease in this movie for Black Adam?
We already got it in the first one.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I don't think
like
so. I really don't think so, because like The Rock is like almost done filming Shazam, Black Adam. So I don't know. I think that was kind of the thing too. I think when it was first, they were both first, casted and everything. They were kind of planning on putting them all in the same movie, but then they finally decided to give Black Adam his own movie, which I think was so much smarter, because like develop him as a character so you don't have to like quickly do his character development and like while trying to do Shazam's too at the same time. So I think it's like smart that they both get their own movies before they face each other, because then it's going to be like even more insane when they do, because it's like, oh my god, like this is like the build up. It's basically like like the build up of it is just going to like build up the hype to see them more.
I think there'll be references in the movie, just like maybe some hints, but I don't think The Rock wants to fight Shazam. I think The Rock wants to fight Superman. He's never really mentioned, Shazam that much, but I think the box office big moneymaker would be Black Adam v Superman. And then you can throw in Shazam there as well. But yeah, I could see some hints. I think the Wizard from the first Shazam is going to be in Black Adam. Some sort of flashback sequence we've already seen in some of the promos that they did for that. So that lore is already there. Maybe why Black Adam maybe turned on that Wizard or stuff like that would be pretty cool to see. So yeah, I think we will get some hints, even if it's just slight hints. I think there'll be some hints in Black Adam as well, maybe, and just try and tie this into the Shazam first. But hopefully The Rock has enough pull to bring in Henry Cavill back.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really was like how I was talking about with like Supergirl and like Superman, like seeing that like team up. Like I just want to see Shazam and Black Adam face each other and but I don't want to like wait more years. Like I want it to happen like soon, like sooner than later. I don't know, because it's like so many years in the making for both characters. And like I know, like because they have so many movies planned, but I just really hope that like soon, like one day,
if
like
the Black Adam movie postpones one more time.
Oh my god! Stop.
But it's nearly finished filming. There are 3 more weeks left for Black Adam, and then they're done. And then it's been post production for over a year. So
I think it's so funny that we saw set pics for Shazam, but we haven't seen really any for Black Adam.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we'll get a lot
probably
of that.
More of a CGI based film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a lot of reveals from that movie at DC Fandom this year. That's probably why he's saving.
Wait till October.
Yeah.
But because we already heard that Pierce Brosnan is doing motion capture
Mhm.
for his role as Doctor Fate. So that's probably why a lot of it is behind the scenes. It's
Oh,
not the
that's
way
true.
that they're doing
Oh
it.
my god,
And
I forgot for a split second that Doctor Fate's gonna be in
Yeah.
it. That's gonna be so awesome. Oh my god, that was such good casting too. Oh my god.
it'll be
Marvel
awesome.
has a lot of movies and shows, coming out by the end of this year. It's literally back to back, like 3 movies back to back, and then I think because of that, DC is going to go all in on DC fandom. And I think
I really hope so. I hope so. It's honestly not to be that like biased, but like Marvel always like gets their time to
yeah,
shine. It's DC's turn. They deserve the spotlight and like to finally win more than just like when Wonder Woman came out. So I just I can't wait for them to go all out. It's gonna be
I
insane.
think they are going to do it. I think they'll release trailers, new looks. Especially from Black Adam, we
Mhm.
have basically seen nothing. So that's a
Oh
lot
god,
of
yeah.
stuff because there's the the Justice Society stuff, and then there's Doctor Fate. There's Atom Smasher, I think. There's him, and then
Yeah,
obviously we have Dwayne's costume. So, and maybe they'll even drop a teaser or something. So there's a lot to look forward to, Black Adam related stuff. I think at fandom they will definitely do that. And with Shazam, obviously
but
they'll, release footage or something.
yeah, the
Yeah, I
costume
think so.
differences. I think the costume change for Shazam was a must because if you had Shazam one suit standing beside Black Adam, it would look laughable.
Yeah.
So because The Rock is obviously going to be skin tight in his suit, so it's going to look like a superhero. And I think the change here to the Shazam family and their suits was a must because you put the Shazam one suit beside Henry Cavill or Black Adam, it's just not going to
Yeah.
look too good.
Yeah.
It was a must. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Shazam. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then our next topic here is the Suicide Squad trailer that just came out. And I've enjoyed the previous 2 trailers. I thought the theatrical one was the best one so far.
Yeah.
And I think this trailer is also really good because it kind of showed a scene from the movie. So it showed the tone of those characters, especially Amanda Waller and Rick Flag and Bloodsport. Though Bloodsport, I think is very similar to Deadshot, in tone and probably in character arc as well. But especially Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she's amazing. Rick Flag and Amanda Waller. These 3 I thought were pretty much the same as they were in David Ayer's movie. And I thought that seeing that kind of shows that James Gunn is not just making a full, joke fest. He's making a movie that will have both serious scenes and emotional scenes as well as funny scenes, just like he does in every movie. I don't know why people just assume that he will just keep making every jokes every 5 minutes. But it was cool to see in
Uh,
this trailer, and I enjoyed that.
I'm really excited for. I really didn't think they're gonna go on this route until I saw the first trailer. But like them using Starro, I
Yeah.
think is like insane. But I also it makes you question like where's the Justice League? Where like that's a Justice League villain. So like why is the Suicide Squad handling that? But I think that made me even more hyped for the movie. It was like that and like seeing King Shark and like of course Harley. I mean they all look like really cool. But like I don't know. I've never like been like I didn't read like a lot of the Suicide Squad comics and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm gonna wait for the movie. I mean, I'm of course I'm excited, but I don't like know that much about every character to like say like an opinion about all of them. So I'm gonna like wait for the movie
You
to
don't know
kind of.
about the world famous Polka Dot Man?
Oh no, well that
Oh,
one I
you
do.
do?
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
joking because I know nothing about that character and I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, no, I do. I do know about a little bit about Polka Dot Man, but like I don't really know much about like Peacemaker or
Right.
like Ratcatcher. Really,
Right.
I don't know. I like.
yeah, I'm looking. Go
Hmm?
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I'm looking forward to because if you're a comic book reader, you know about some of these characters. I don't, and
Yeah.
TSB is the same. So like it's like going to school for us. We're going to see these movies and we get to learn about
Yeah.
Ratcatcher. We get to learn about Starro or King
For us,
Shark.
it's
So I'm
the
looking
first
forward to that.
impression.
I would. What's
For
that?
us, it's the first impression this movie is going to make.
Yes, and I think that's important. So yeah, so that's cool as well. So is there a character, Casey, that you're most looking forward to seeing and what they're all about?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to Harley, but I've already seen Harley and I know Margot will kill it. But apart from that, I think my most, anticipated character is obviously King Shark. There's just no way he's not gonna be.
He's so cute. I love
Yeah.
him. No, he needs to be protected at all costs. He's already
Yeah.
the best character.
I mean, James Gunn has said that anyone can be killed in this movie and no one is safe, but I would really feel
Shark.
bad
No,
if
you
King
can't.
Shark
You
dies.
can't give me King Shark and
Exactly.
then kill him off. You can't do that to me.
It's literally the first time we
I'll
see
fight.
him.
Yeah, like, I'll literally fight. Like I don't want it to be like that like the first like 20 or whatever minutes of like with Suicide Squad when they killed
Yeah.
I forget his name though.
Nobody remembers. Someone will know in the chat.
Is it I want to say like Slipknot.
Slipknot, yes. Right.
Yeah, that's who it
Slipknot.
was. See, like I wasn't entirely like that into the Suicide Squad comics, like I said. So like, but I was excited about these villains. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna say much about it because I don't. Like I said, I think that's why because I'm not that knowledgeable on this new lineup of characters. But like I think I was more knowledgeable about the first lineup in the first movie than this. So
Slingshot?
No, it's Slipknot.
No,
Slingshot.
Slipknot. Yeah.
Slipknot.
Okay, it is Slipknot. Okay. See, I don't remember it. I don't know why I don't remember it.
Yeah,
but he's like really into like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So not even.
He had a lot. I think he had a few scenes cut from the original Suicide Squad. That's probably why we forget.
But
him
also,
so much.
I think
That's
James
wrong.
Gunn has a pretty huge cast for this movie, so it's not just gonna be one or two people that gonna die. I think half of the cast is definitely dying. I just wish that King Shark is saved somehow.
Well, I think we can narrow down that Peacemaker. Peacemaker's definitely going to survive because he's getting his own show, obviously.
Not if that's a prequel.
Is he? Is he?
I don't know. I don't think they would do
Yeah,
it.
I think Peacemaker is a safe bet.
Harley's not
Harley's a safe bet.
Harley
But I just hope that King Shark is also a safe bet. I just want him, to be around when Kite Man.
I'll fight. I told you, I'll fight. Me and you will fight. If anything happens to King Shark.
King Shark should be alive for when, eventually they get to Kite Man in the DCU.
Oh my god.
That would be awesome.
Oh my god, I would cry if I got Kite Man. I need Kite Man and Condiment King in live action, please and thank you. Best Batman villain.
And
thank you.
James Gunn is the type of director that would definitely do that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what he did with this cast because like a lot of people are like, who? To half these characters. So he definitely brought a lot of underrated characters
I've been
in here.
Tweeting at James Gunn since I've seen Kite Man and Harley Quinn, and he once tweeted that he watched Harley Quinn season 1 and 2, and then I was like, now you definitely have to bring Kite Man in because only he can do that, So
yeah.
The trailers so far have been pretty kind of mixed. They've all had different tones. My favorite is the second one.
Too.
It seemed a lot darker, and it was very.
The song choice was good as well.
It's just I just preferred it, but this movie is in an uphill battle already because the first film had word of mouth about Batman, Flash, Joker, Will Smith. The marketing was big. This movie hasn't had a wow moment yet for marketing, and yesterday's kind of ploy to leak it through a YouTube ad and then made it out that the squad leaked it. May have worked, may have not worked. I don't know, but it did trend on.
I think that was orchestrated by the cast.
Oh yeah, it was all a plan. But I just don't know. They don't have that wow moment yet. Maybe they do in the movie, and word of mouth will happen. Like Henry Cavill shows up for a Batman. I don't think they will, but the first movie had that. I think this one's missing it. Missing out on the Joker, like Jared Leto's Joker, missing out on Batman and stuff. That's a big things to miss out on. Now, then again, James Gunn has done this with Guardians of the Galaxy, a completely unknown cast of characters, and hit it out of the park. But then again, Marvel was written on that, not DC. So I wouldn't be surprised if this movie doesn't do as well as expected from DC and James Gunn because of the DC attached to it. And some of the marketing hasn't been top notch, and also it's on HBO Max, and it feels like they're not revving up the marketing for the HBO Max theatrical movies until about 3 weeks before they come out.
No, you're definitely right. Like, you made a good point saying with like Batfleck when he made a cameo. Like, that was actually one of my favorite, and like probably like one of the things I remember the most about Suicide Squad, and like that fits so well because like I loved seeing it like Batman from like the villain's point of view, because like in like a villain kind of based movie like that. But like, but Batman putting all of his villains in Arkham like that, like Deadshot. Like I thought that was
Deadshot scene
that
was really good, like with the daughter and everything.
I just the fact that like and like because I know a lot of people say it was like, oh, why did Batfleck and even Ezra Miller's Flash make cameos, but like those are their villains. So like the part with Captain Boomerang, like that was perfect with Flash though too. That was such a good cameo because that's literally his villain.
Also because this was supposed to be a shared universe.
I kind of wish they were doing it for this one too, but I know they're not. I wish though. I wish.
It's annoying, but we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us and have a cameo from.
Oh, I hope.
Which DC hero?
Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman is most likely to appear if she wants to.
You know.
Well, it's got to be like in the lineup. At least the way that they did it, it has to be one of her villains.
Mm-hmm.
So like let's say like if Cheetah was in it, then I'd be like, okay, Wonder Woman has to make a cameo. But
that's
like
true.
I'm not saying like she can because these aren't her villains, but it's just like it makes more logical sense. Like when they did that, like Batman locking up, Deadshot, that's his villain, and like Flash doing it with Captain Boomerang. So I'm trying to think if anybody in the lineup.
Ideally, Joker should have made a cameo.
Probably, yeah.
I know.
But in Birds of Prey, I think that hurt them as well. I think it'll hurt them in this movie as well. But that's what I think. But I think the chemistry between the cast has been brilliant so far through the trailers. Like that's what really stood the first one so well.
Rick Flag is also finally leading.
I know.
That's good. I think the little kind of look between him and Harley was cool as well. Like they've had history and like, oh, here we go again. Let's do it. So and it's good. Like there's so much from this film that we haven't seen, and James Gunn has said this. They've hid so much.
Yeah, he tweeted today that they cut out the trailers in such a way that they had to basically hide so much, and you will be shocked to see how much we have hidden actually, because it makes sense because the cast is literally double the size of what we have already seen in the trailers. They keep showing the same characters, but where are the other people, right? So they're definitely hiding a lot, and I can totally buy that.
No, I just agree.
I like that. What did we think of Weasel? He's killed 27 children. That was very funny.
We just want the Suicide Squad to be the Suicide Squad. I don't want them to be heroic and stuff, which they try to make. Which they tried to make that in the theatrical Suicide Squad movie. They're not supposed to be heroic. That's the point of the movie. So I'm glad that they keep stuff like that here. They're definitely bad guys. The moment you think that, oh, you're cheering for them, but hey, they did this and that.
Like, yeah, they were in like maximum security prison. We're not supposed to be cheering for them. They're literally like, as like Manuel said, like the worst of the worst.
I love how she's the exact same as the first movie.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Well, that's perfect casting since like day one. When they announced her, I was like, oh my god. I was like, perfect casting.
Totally.
I'm glad she's not changed whatsoever. I think that's important. I love how Captain Boomerang's back as well, because he was actually.
I think he's dying.
3 times from the first movie. I hope not, because he was so good.
I kind of agree. I feel like he will too. I mean, he got some scenes in the first movie, so like I would be like, okay. I kind of agree.
Funny.
Yeah, he is.
Funny.
Yeah, but he's also very like loud and like annoying, and like he's got too much anger going on. But I'm just like not into it. Not for it at all. He's just like, I'm just like, dude, calm down.
Like there's like even like what's the guy with all the things out of his head?
Thinker.
The Thinker.
Yeah, that character seems very interesting as well. So I think Starro, we've seen nothing of Starro yet, the big villain, only little shots here and there. So, yeah, there's so much you have to see. And I hope it doesn't hurt them for the box office and hype of the movie. The marketing might be too underwhelming for people. Hopefully, it's James Gunn, and he probably knows or thinks he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm totally in for it because I'm always looking forward to characters that are very new that I know nothing about. I'm open to discover such characters. Invincible was one of that for me, and The Boys was the same, and Doom Patrol was like that. I knew nothing about those characters, and now I love those characters. So hopefully this happens again with the Suicide Squad, and I'm definitely gonna love King Shark. So for that, I have no doubt, but the others as well.
Voice Space Stallone. Stallone. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so with that, we conclude our DC topics today, and we can jump on to the final topic of today, which is Loki. And we finally.
I'm sorry, I love it. I'm
Yeah, me
sorry.
too.
Loki's like my show right now. I love Loki with all my heart. And like when Infinity War came out, I was like, I remember crying my eyes out. And I was like, this can't be the end. I was like, I have to see him again. And my brother was like, no, you're gonna see him one day. I don't know how, but like we're gonna see him again. He's not dead. And like when they announced the show, I sobbed. I was like, oh my god, it's like my boy's back. So I'm so happy to have him back. Like I've already loved every episode so far. It's so good.
Yeah, the writing is really good, and the showrunner and the writer is, he's pretty talented, and Feige trusts him, so the show has been doing pretty well. I also loved the first two episodes a lot, and I thought it was very different from what the other Marvel shows did. And this is definitely, by far my favorite show. And I wasn't into the idea of this show at first when they announced it, because I love Loki, but I didn't know that what you could do with an entire season of Loki. So when they brought in the sci-fi elements in it, and it has to do with the time variance authority and all that stuff, so that made me pretty much hyped for it. And then when I saw the first episode, that interaction between him and Mobius, that was just epic, and I just wanted to watch them talk for like the entire season. And
I couldn't agree
yeah,
more.
it was just amazing. And this episode was it was pretty good as well. I liked the visuals. I liked the dynamic between Loki and Sylvie. We'll call her that for now. And they drop a lot of enchantress type of hints, in in the dialogue, but then we kind of know that she's a variant of Loki. But I don't totally buy that right now, because that was Loki asking her, and she didn't confirm it. She basically was cross questioning him, and then she didn't confirm it. She didn't say, yes, I'm a Lady Loki, right? She still says,
I don't think she knows she's a
Yeah.
variant.
And-
I don't think she knew until like talking to Loki that she was one.
Yeah. and her plan is basically to destroy
Like
the
nobody knows
TVA.
they're a variant until like say it
Her
again.
plan is basically to destroy the TVA. So that's what she wants to do. So I think she probably is ex TVA, or somehow worked with them for a while, and then set out to destroy them or something. And
Yeah, something has to be like a personal vendetta, because like for her to want to take them down this bad. But
and
I
she
don't
wants to
know.
find the timekeepers.
Yeah, I think like obviously like it's cool learning about and certain questions being answered to each episode, and like finding out things. Like a lot of people were like, oh my god, like finding out when she said like everyone's variants of each other. Like a lot of people kept saying that like, oh my god, the TVA sounds more sus than
Yep.
we thought, which was like, I don't know, but like I think my favorite thing about the show so far, I would say I have to go back to episode 1, is because like I know a lot of people, like I said, have only seen Loki as a villain, so it's like, oh, like what else can you do with him? But like the first episode like proved there's so much more to him than what they've shown, and like the fact that like this kind of arc and them discovering this part of him is just like amazing, and like I've always wanted to know more about Loki, and I'll never get tired of seeing him. So like this show is already a dream come true. So like I knew I would love it the second they announced it, but like seeing it and how good it is, like I love Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but like this is definitely like surpassed that now. Like this is my favorite Marvel Disney Plus show. Like it's just every episode just keeps getting better and better in like every way. I don't know.
I agree.
I just love it.
And they've also finally
in this episode we have like
they also finally outright said that Loki is bisexual, and you know that has to be a big revelation for the MCU, and a lot of people are happy about it. So that's also big.
Oh, absolutely. That was like such a big drop that a lot of people like almost missed, and then they're like, "Oh my god, wait, this was the thing."
Yeah.
But like I think that's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of times they
I don't
hint at such stuff, but this is the first time, probably, if I'm remembering correctly, that they have outright said it. So that must, make a lot of people happy.
It's cool to relate to these characters, and throughout the years of comic book movies, we can relate to characters over loss of parents or brother or daughter or son and stuff like that, or dealing with anxiety or depression. But there hasn't been too many that have come out and said that they're gay or bisexual and stuff like that. So for this to happen in the show, and for them to say it, will make people relate to Loki, even if they didn't relate to him beforehand, because he goes through the same similarities as them. He has the same feelings towards people.
And he's a major
I think
character.
it's pretty cool. And he's a major character, and I think it's the first one to say it really in the MCU, so that's pretty good, and maybe first in a while in comic book movies. So fair play for them to put this in. I think the director for this episode, Kate Herron, can't remember, but she is, I think, bisexual as well, as she was saying today on a tweet or an interview. So yeah, they wanted to bring that into it. I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And it might develop for future seasons or movies or shows, but I think it's a good step having that in this episode, and it makes sense because, like, it just makes sense, because what's his origin? Is it not wolves, elves or something like that? Is that where he
Frost
comes from?
Giants?
Oh, it's he's a frost
Giants.
giant. So from like Jotunheim.
Yeah, so
But,
stuff like that. It makes kind of sense because they're different. It's interesting.
Well, the thing is, like, before the first episode came out, they kind of came out and said, in like the file for Loki, like when he came, he came out with they announced that he was gender fluid, which was like a big thing, and then now that they're dropped this one too on top of it is just like insane, and like a lot of people who've like read the comics like know Loki, has taken so many forms and like this and that. So like seeing that being represented in this show, and like I know for a fact Tom Hiddleston had something to do with that too, and I think that's like incredible.
Yeah.
So like I'm so glad that that's what they did, and they and they went in that direction and stuff like that. Like I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Yeah, and fair play to Marvel for doing this on the big show. A really big show with such a big character that's loved. But I think throughout this episode, some of the cinematography and the shots and the color was brilliant. Like because Sylvie wants to go to the Time Variant Authority and kill the Minutemen or the Timekeepers, whatever you call them, Timekeepers, and stop them. But then Loki wants to work with her, and then they have a fight, and then they escape from the rest of the TVA, and they end up in Lamentis. Is it Lamentis planet?
Lamentis.
And it's Lamentis planet, and this is another apocalypse because the Time Variant, or the variant, which is Lady Loki, which is Sylvie, has been hiding out in apocalypses. So Loki brings them to an apocalypse to hide out, and they end up in Lamentis. And in 2077, but the apocalypse of this world is a giant planet is coming towards this planet. And I forget the name of the key, but like the portal key, it's low battery, so they want to power it, but then throughout the episode it gets broken.
Map or something?
Something like that. And then it gets broken, so they have to come up with a different plan and trying to get onto this big ship that's leaving the planet, the big arc, for them to overtake it and fly it out, because throughout history, or all the different timelines, nobody's ever left this planet alive. That's basically what the plot of this episode is, and there's some really good dialogue between the two, and the chemistry is good. But I was blown away by the visual effects, especially in the last 8 minutes. That big one-shot sequence at the end, that was just amazing. That was crazy, and I love that so much. And then you think, they're going to get onto the ark and they're going to escape, and then they go on to the next journey. But you could see the look in their faces that they didn't succeed, that the big ark got blown up, and then you had the guards that they were fighting. They just went on their knees, and the people in this town and the city were just like, this is the end. It's over, you know. So, and then the music kicks in, and it was a great ending.
Absolutely, and this is by the end of this episode,
Yeah,
we
it's
are
cool.
halfway through the entire season. So I think that's a really now
That makes me so sad.
now they will
I don't want to see him again.
now they will just
Way to go.
I think the next episode might be a slower paced episode, but episode 5 and 6 will definitely be on the level of the hype of this show. The next episode kind of needs to be a breather for the next two to be big, especially because this episode was big. So maybe the next episode will be more character focused than have any action. But yeah, I'm totally
I was
excited for it.
disappointed no Owen Wilson, because he was doing so good in the first two episodes, Mobius, and he's not in this episode. I was like, really? But I'm still not convinced. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still not convinced about Sylvie as being a variant of Loki, because like maybe it's just the case that Tom Hiddleston is so good as Loki that nobody can get to his level as the character. I don't think she has gotten to that level yet. Of course, it's only her first time playing it, and maybe developing upcoming episodes. But I think he outshined her big time in this episode, because he's just he's a pro in this role. So for me, she's not convincing me too much. I'm not into her as the role yet. She can change my mind. Maybe she's not even a variant of Loki.
The issue,
very happy to get to the level of Tom
Obviously,
Hiddleston.
as the episodes go, we'll like figure out more and more answers and everything. So like it's very hard to say right now like what to think of her.
Yeah.
Like I liked that dynamic though between them, and like them even for a second trusting each other and everything, and like Loki literally I don't know, I'm very it hits me in the feels when Loki talks about his past, because like what we saw in the first episode with like him seeing his whole life and how he dies like was just like insane to me, because him seeing his whole life be projected like that, like the whole thing in Thor too, like he thought his own family didn't love him, and like and then he finds out that he was like completely wrong, and that's why he was like so heartbroken, and like you heard in this episode too, talking about Frigga, and like he made a reference to Thor, like how Thor did like when he would smash the cup and be like another, like that was that got me, that little thing. I was like,
instantly
oh my God, I was like,
had me. That instantly reminded me of Thor. So
I was like, oh my God.
And then the issue, I think,
of, purple in this episode. I love the use of purple. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like Blade Runner, even in the city, it's like a Blade Runner kind of vibe.
The issue, I think, with Sylvie was from the beginning of the episode. I was like, okay, Loki is sharing stuff, but she's neither confirming nor saying anything to Loki, right? And Loki just keeps sharing the information, and I was like, why is she not saying something? And she's not even confirming.
Like, don't call me that.
Yeah, she's not even confirming anything.
Don't call me that.
So I was kind of getting annoyed at that, and then obviously Loki addressed that, and he basically told her that same thing. I'm sharing everything, and you're not, so we have to build trust and everything like that, right? So yes, I do agree with you that we still cannot say for sure which character she is. Maybe she is Lady Loki, maybe she is Enchantress, maybe she's a mix of both. For now, they're calling her Sylvie.
Like I said, too many theories. I think we have to wait to see till like the next 3 episodes, see what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I really like? They did like, they're not making Loki into a Avengers type hero. He still tried to manipulate that old lady by
that was so funny.
To be her husband.
Well, that's classic Loki. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I like seeing new sides to him, but like it doesn't mean he's gonna completely change or be redeemed.
No. But then don't forget, the purpose of this episode was going to use the power of the planet to fix the device to go to somewhere else. They were willing to let this civilization die for their own benefit to leave. So, they're not heroes by any means.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so it's just what do you think will happen when they go back to the TVA, or next episode when Mobius shows up, and obviously he betrayed Mobius and left despite him chasing him and asking him to stop in the previous episode. So obviously he's not going to be on good terms with Mobius now, and he has broken his trust. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. There's so many things we could say, but like we just have to see how it plays out.
You know what's interesting? How Sylvie told Loki that. What do you mean? The TVA guard that I interrogated, they're from Earth, or they lived a life. They weren't born out of TVA. And Loki's like, what do you mean? And then she's like, they're all variants. You know, they're all real people. And then Loki's like, well, I was told they were created by the Timekeepers. That's what Mobius believes. That's what B Hunter 20 or Hunter 320.
Well, yeah, that's what they were told.
They were
like,
created.
I think there's some deeper things, like I don't know. I think, like I said, like even last night's episode made us think like the TVA must be sus for some reason, because like even Loki said, it was like, oh, the TVA told me this. It was like, no, and like Sylvia was like, no.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a part of realization for Mobius, because we all know he wants to go on a jet ski someday and live a life and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And that was actually a very sad scene. Love that episode. But I think it's going to be a thing about, he'll be mad at Loki at first, but Loki will say, hey, I've got something to tell you. And then Mobius,
and then he'll be even more mad
as well. Yeah, they might even work together. And I think this is a big kind of Wizard of Oz type thing, where they want to get back to curtain and to see who's really there. And it could be no timekeepers. It could be a small man or woman or an alien or something.
I don't know. Like we just gotta wait and see.
It's also interesting that Sylvie called the TVA fascists. Not TVA. The timekeepers. So she basically knows more than she's saying, and that's annoying me.
Well, I think, like I said, like I think Loki will slowly figure that out too, because like he's like, you know, he was told, you know, just stuff by Mobius, and like half of that turned out to not be true. So I don't know. We'll see how you know it all ends in like over the next 3 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm excited though. I want to know.
The woman who's kind of over the TVA that Mobius reports to, she knows a lot more than she's letting on to as well.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Like I said, we can sit here and make theories, but we just have to see where they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that, as always, Tom Hiddleston's brilliant, and the actress that plays Sylvie has a lot to convince me with, but I think she's an actress. I'm sure she'll definitely show us what she can do in the next coming episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, everyone, let us know what you think of this episode, and especially the entire show. We definitely love it, and we are definitely excited for the next episode. And Ben here says that was the best part of the episode. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of the scenes were good in this episode, but their chemistry, their dynamic was pretty good. So I loved that. And also, Ben, this is the new chat layout, which you couldn't figure out, and I'm using it. So how does it look?
It's good. It's good.
So yeah, with that, we can wrap up today's show. That was all the topics here, and we can. Okay, yeah. So those are all the topics for today, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode when we talk more about Loki. Please make sure to join us on Saturday as well as next Wednesday. We'll be talking Loki episode 4, and we'll be continuing to talk about it every single week because we have so many theories to talk about, and that's awesome. So yeah, you can follow us at The Real Talk Live on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow me at Krypton Caged on all social media.
Yeah, movies that matter for me as well. And Sabrina, thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me and asking me, you know, wanting me here. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
For sure.
Where can they find you on the interweb?
Just honestly, mostly on my Twitter account, Nightwanes. So I don't really have like anything like personal for like Instagram related to comics. It's more like a personal Instagram. So yeah, Twitter's just where you can find me.
#1 Batman fan right here.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. It was great having you, and we'll do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Let me know time and place. It was a pleasure.
Cool. All right then. See you next week.
Bye. Take care.